Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah, otherwise known as Sara Says Hi here on YouTube. I follow alternate day fasting along with the ketogenic diet and low carb eating. And today I'm going to be making a white chocolate macadamia nut cookie recipe. This is not my recipe. This is a recipe by Gnom-Gnom. I have made a regular chocolate chip cookie recipe of hers and I actually really enjoyed the recipe. So I decided I would try the white chocolate macadamia nut version of it. So this recipe is a two-part recipe where the first part of the recipe is the bulk of the batter, and then the second part of the recipe is the recipe that's incorporating the macadamia nuts and white chocolate chips. Today's video is also sponsored by Nutstop. I've talked about Nutstop before in several of my other baking, cooking videos. I really like Nutstop because they carry a variety of nuts. You can get them roasted, you can get them salted, unsalted, shelled, deshelled, whatever. They also have dried fruits, they have other treats, they have chocolates, they do have some sugar-free chocolates. And I really enjoy the company. I've had a great experience with them. So I'm going to tell you about my 3 favorite nuts that I like to have on hand at all times for my low carb keto way of eating. So the first thing is macadamia nuts. Obviously, they are going to be featured in today's recipe, and these are roasted, unsalted macadamia nuts. Sometimes I do buy them salted or just raw as well, but for today's recipe, she specifically asked that you roast your macadamia nuts. I'm a little lazy and I didn't want to roast them myself, so I already have some here that are roasted. Another favorite nut that I like to have on hand are pecans. And lastly, another favorite snacking nut are pistachios. Those are my 3 favorite nuts right now. And if you click down below, there will be a link to those various products, as well as my discount code available for you. When you use my discount code, you can save 10% off of your purchase. So let's get on to this recipe. And again, I have not made this particular recipe before, so let's hope that it comes out good. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with the mixing of dry ingredients. So I'm going to show you all of the ingredients I have already previously measured out. Although I'm not going to give you the specific measurements, if you want those measurements, down below in the description will be a link to Gnom-Gnom's recipe. Again, this is not my recipe, so I want to give her credit. But yeah, all that information will be down below for the 2-part recipe of this. Okay, so for the first part of the recipe, we're going to be mixing our dry ingredients into a medium-sized bowl. So here I have my almond flour. This is coconut flour. This is the cognac powder. This is also known as glucomannan. This is actually the Now Foods brand, and I'll show you really quick. So that's what it looks like there. I'm not sure if this is the one in particular that she uses, but I had bought this from her first cookie recipe. And then we have, this is baking soda, and this is xanthan gum, and then some salt, and this is the Redmond salt. So I'm going to go ahead and dump all of the dry ingredients into the bowl. Okay, and now for the next part, we are going to dump our butter into a large bowl, and we're going to cream this for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so that was 2 minutes. So the next thing we're going to do is add our sugar, and this is the Lakanto golden sugar. So we're gonna dump that in there. And unfortunately this time it is 8 minutes more of beating this butter. I really wish I put it in the stand mixer, but there's not a lot of butter in there, so I was afraid it wouldn't have enough for the stand mixer. But I'm going to beat this for 8 minutes. Okay, so my hand is so sore. That was a long time. And I can't remember in her original cookie recipe, I think she was just stressing that it really helps with the sugar, breaking down less of that cooling effect, I guess, from the erythritol when you mix it like that. For the next part, we're going to be adding some of our wet ingredients. This is molasses, blackstrap molasses, and people are nervous about using like molasses in their recipes, but this only adds 5 grams of carbohydrates to the total recipe. So it's not very much. And actually this recipe comes out to 1.5 grams of net carbs. So it's not a terrible recipe. It's actually ideal for keto. Definitely better than the alternative. So I'm going to go ahead and add this molasses into here. This is also optional. You don't have to, but I just am following her recipe as she says or how she makes it, and she does use the molasses, so I'm gonna get that in. And then we have some vanilla, and then 1 egg. Okay, so she says to mix this on low, and then slowly we're gonna add our dry mixture back in. Now the fun part. So now we're going to fold in. So these are the roasted macadamia nuts, and they're roughly chopped. And then these are Chalk Zero white chocolate chips. And I didn't realize how tiny they are, but they are like itty bitty. So those are gonna go in there. And we're going to gently fold them in there. So that is our mixture. And then we're going to cover this and refrigerate it for 1 hour. So here's our refrigerated cookie dough. Yes, there is another step. So what we're going to do now is you make your cookie dough, or you make your cookie formations on the pan, and then I have to put them back in the freezer. So just stir, and I think I'm gonna make jumbo ones. She says it makes 18 cookies or 12 jumbo ones, so I think I'm gonna make jumbo ones. Let's see. I'm just adding a little bit more dough to these. Then she says you want to push them down, like you don't want to leave them mounds like this. So she says to push them down. So this is going to go in the freezer for, I think she said 9 minutes. And then I'll be back to bake them in the oven. Okay guys, so the cookies are now out of the oven and they baked for about 12 minutes. I think it said 12 to 13 minutes if you're baking the larger cookies, so I took them out at 12 minutes. So you take them out of the oven, and she says not to put it on a cooling rack or anything, but to let them completely cool in the pan. The pan is not too warm, but I still feel like the cookies could use a little bit longer to cool. So let's just show you the cookies. So now I'm gonna go ahead and try one on camera for you. It's falling apart. Like it's super crumbly. They're really good though. It's a very strong buttery flavor. It's not gonna hold together. It's like gonna fall in my hand, I'm afraid. It's really good. Holy cow. It's way better than buying keto cookies. Those cookies are amazing. They're really good. It's not gonna stay together like a typical cookie with gluten and everything in it, but the flavor is on point. That is an amazing cookie. It tastes definitely like a bakery style cookie, which is what she advertised the recipe as. It's a keto cookie, but it's bakery style. Definitely worth trying this recipe. The other thing is, oh man, it's so good. Like I could easily eat another one. It does not have a cooling effect. And maybe it's because I used the Lakanto, which is a mix of monk fruit and erythritol, but there is no cooling effect. I think that's the secret why she really wants you to whip that butter with the sugar for 8 minutes or 10 minutes to kind of eliminate that cooling effect or gritty texture. There's definitely no gritty texture, no cooling effect. It just tastes like a really nice buttery flavored cookie. Obviously has a little bit of sweetness. You get a little bit of the saltiness. I didn't show in the video, but I did sprinkle some of the flaky sea salts over it. So you can definitely see the sea salt right there on the cookies, even though I didn't show that part. But oh man, really good recipe. I am not sorry that I made these cookies at all. In fact, these are not going to be able to compare with any other recipe that I've tried so far because they're just like the best, hands down. Again, I want to thank Nutstop for sending me the macadamia nuts for this recipe. I really appreciate it. Again, if you're interested in checking out Nutstop, down below in the description box is a link where you can save 10% by using my code. And I hope that you guys like this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. And when you do, don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that'll notify you every time that I've uploaded a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.